Hey guys, we will, or I will, the royal we will be starting in just a minute. So hang tight. Okay. I think I'm ready. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I think I'm ready. All right. Yeah, let's just go. 3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast, Webisode 653, the Fennekin Podcast. Fennekin is a fire-type Pokemon introduced in Generation 6. It evolves into, I can't tell you, which, blah, blah, blah. Can't tell you that either. Along with Chespin and Froakie, Fennekin is one of the 3 starter Pokemon of the Kalos, available at the beginning of Pokemon X and Y. Blah, 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 blah. Fennekin is a small, quadruped, fox-like Pokemon. It is covered in pale yellow fur that is longer on its haunches. Tufts of dark orange fur cover the insides of its large ears, and it has a white muzzle with longer fur on its cheeks. Hot air is vented from its ears, reaching temperatures of over 390 degrees Fahrenheit. It has large, dark orange eyes and a pointed black nose. When its mouth is open, 2 pointed teeth can be seen in its upper jaw. Fennekin also has small paws with no visible toes and slim legs. Its tail is fluffy with a dark orange tip. Fennekin chews on twigs instead of eating snacks. Sure, why not? Cheaper. Its tail is fluffy with... Oh, I said that. Fennekin, god damn it. It can be temperamental, but it tries to do its best for its trainer. Well, isn't that nice? That's your Pokemon. Whatever. What else does Mom Brain say? It's 87.5% female, 12.5% female. That's, found in the world of Pokemon, not the Pokemon itself. It's a foot tall, basically, and it weighs, it weighs 20 pounds. Man, I like fell apart with this Pokemon. Thanks for reading the Pokemon, me. You're welcome, me. Yeah, it's just me today. Why is it just me? Because Mom Brain is at a party, a teacher party. Yeah, apparently teachers do that. They love seeing each other so damn much that they got a party together on the start of the weekend. I'm trying to. So it's better for me to do the podcast in my office because I have a computer that's easier to work with. I don't have to lug around a laptop and plug in all that stuff. And this is where I usually work. So yeah, I'm doing it in here today. It's been a long time since I've done a solo podcast, and I know I've done them in here before, but I feel like I haven't done it in forever. So put up with me just for this show. Next week we'll be back to usual. I completely forgot that I had a family obligation tomorrow, and I forgot until last night, and I was like, oh, I got to do a podcast tomorrow. So Mom Brain is at the party, and other people are not around. Kirby, I said, I honestly don't know when I'm going to be able to do the podcast. I'm just going to do it when I get my first break from regular work on the site. So I'm just going to end that and go right into it. So I said, I'm not going to make you hang around and just be on call. So I said, I'll handle this one on my own. So that's what you got. You got just me. And it's probably going to be a short show, but because I didn't realize how few top stories there were this week. But I always say it's going to be a short show, and then I ramble on about stuff. And there's some other things I want to talk about anyway. But let me first say hello to Liquid Metal and Murasaki and Mine Without a Cause and the Aloe Wolf and Robert Bear and Contra Network. Hello, Contra Network. Thank you for all your help lately. I really appreciate it. Jefferson and who else we got over here? Rocket and Dew and Stuzz and T27 Duck and whoever else I didn't see. I know I sprung this podcast on everybody out of nowhere, so I apologize for not more of a heads up, but I honestly didn't know when I was going to be able to do it. But here I am. And for those, hello, did I say hello, Too Bad 2010? Did I say hello, Stakona? Stakona says, I got Fee today. It's really good. I've been calling it Faye because it's F-E. That's not do, re, mi. So I'm trying to think if Fee was in that song, you know, do, whatever it is, Do a Deer song. But yeah, it's just F-E. So I've been calling it Fee. And then I found out this week that it's, or I've been calling it Faye. And I found out this week that it's called Fee. I'm like, wow, that's disappointing. I'm saying the name wrong all this time. It was, I guess that's specifically from Zoink, who developed the game. So they would know how to pronounce the name. It's like, now I don't know what her name is. Well, I know what it is. I don't know how to say it in Skyward Sword. Fi? What do you say? I don't know. I still don't know. How many years have I gone playing video games where I said the wrong names? You know, it started a million years ago, which was understandable because I was a little kid, but started with stuff like Ninja Gaiden, which everybody I knew called it Ninja Gaiden because we didn't know anything, but now we know it's Ninja Gaiden. But yeah, it happens all the time. You read things in games for so many years, but you never hear anybody pronounce it. And when you do hear people say it, it's friends. You don't hear from the developer themselves. So you're like, how the hell do I say this? And this is another one of those cases. But yeah, I have not had a chance to play Fee yet. I have it, and I want to play it. I've just been super busy, so I haven't had a chance to play it. And I know it's getting mixed reviews. I know reviews are pretty much all over the place from all different outlets. I haven't seen anybody say that it's like an absolutely terrible game. I've seen a lot of outlets say that they feel it misses the mark. I've also seen some outlets say it's a fantastic and moving experience. I've talked about it on the podcast before. You know I'm all about it. Like, I was really interested in the mechanics and the visuals and stuff like that. So I'm still excited to play it. It's kind of like, oh no, what's the name of it? The game with the slug cat. Hello, Gold. Rain World. I was really interested in Rain World, and then the reviews came out for that, and everybody's like, Rain World sucks. The controls are really bad. The game's too hard. I don't know what to do. And I always read reviews, but I very rarely am like, well, these reviews have made me not want to get the game. More often than not, what happens is if I see a whole bunch of reviews for a game and it sounds good, I just get more excited. But if I see a whole bunch of reviews for a game and they're wishy-washy or bad, it makes me want to play the game more to see like where they're coming from and be like, I want to see if I have these feelings. And with Rain World, I did not share those feelings. I thought Rain World was an excellent game. It's certainly challenging. It's a gorgeous game. It has a really interesting atmosphere to it, unique gameplay. And I felt the controls were perfectly fine. But I'm coming from someone who's played games like Out of This World and Heart of Darkness, I think, where... And I guess you could say flashback, just that type of genre where character animations, you can even say the original Prince of Persia, where character animations have a heavy emphasis. And sometimes people don't adjust to those controls. They want, split-second inputs. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing to want, but I don't know. I guess I just have a feeling in my mind, a muscle memory for that kind of controls, where, you let an animation play out before you move on, or things don't happen exactly right away. And it's hard for me to say that it's right or wrong, because that's not for me to decide. I can just tell you that it doesn't bother me. So I think that's where a lot of that distaste was coming from. And I know that Rain World's being at least somewhat considered for the Switch, and I hope it does come over to the platform, because I really feel the game didn't get a fair shake, and I'd be very interested to see what Switch owners think of it, because I think Nintendo fans might have more experience with platformers in general. That's just my own thinking, because Nintendo does a lot of platforms, so I would imagine a lot of people have a fondness for platformers that are Nintendo fans and have put in a lot of time with platformers. So I'd want to see how that side of things reacts to the game, but we don't know if that's officially happening. Hopefully it does, like I said. See, I told you I'd ramble on forever, but there's just so many things I want to talk about. Stakona says, Fee has simple controls with move and jump, very focused on platforming, unlike Metroid Prime, which is focused on combat. Hello, I'd buy that for $1. And hello, Boy Meets Nintendo. And hello, Pete. And hello, Matt Fox. And I feel like I missed somebody else. Hello, thanks for people joining us. Me, the royal us. I keep doing that. The royal we, the royal us. The other thing I wanted to talk about real quick. Hello, Caramel. I say caramel. Is that wrong? I also want to talk about, lately I've been starting off the... Well, okay. I'm taking it a step back again. There's something else I have to do, which I keep forgetting to do because I've done so many shows where I'm not doing it. Layers of Fear. The GoNintendo podcast is presented by Layers of Fear Legacy. Layers of Fear Legacy is a first-person psychedelic horror game with a heavy focus on story and exploration. Delve deep into the mind of an insane painter and discover the secret of his madness as you walk through a vast and constantly changing Victorian-era mansion. Uncover the visions, fears, and horrors that entwine the painter and finish the masterpiece he has strived so long to create. Layers of Fear Legacy makes use of the Switch's unique features, including HD rumble, motion controls, touchscreen, and the ability to play both docked and undocked. Layers of Fear Legacy is due out. This is outdated on my phone, so let me give you the official release date rather than Q1 2018, because we know it now. It's like next week, I think. Layers of Fear Legacy comes out February 21st. So instead of me just telling you it's coming out Q1 2018, get ready for it. I can say it's coming out next week. Hello, Agent Ironcat. So if you're interested in scary games, you can look forward to that. But, don't take my opinion because this is a paid sponsorship. I have said that I played the PC version and I really liked it, but it's a paid sponsorship. Don't trust me. Hopefully those of you who have followed GoNintendo for a million years know that I would not ever review a game or favorably discuss a game for payment. That's never been the case and will never be the case. I've had companies not work with me after pledging to work with me because I was honest about their games. That's the way it goes. But yes, this game in particular, I did enjoy. I have not played the Switch version yet. Maybe it's a horrible port. I don't know. But it's coming out next week. And they were, Bloober Team was nice enough to sponsor GoNintendo for the whole month. So thank you to them. And hopefully you are somewhat interested in that game. Okay, the other thing I want to talk about before we get into Nintendo news, because I said there's not too many top stories this week. I have been... So a few months back, I was reading about Netflix getting into anime and shelling out money to get anime out there and not, I don't want to say legitimate anime, but I mean like, anime from production studios that fans of anime know. And one of the series that I kept reading about was called, it's called Kakegurui. Kakegurui. I think that's how you say it. I'm sure I'm butchering it. But it was about something that I would never, not never, but it's not a subject I would normally pick to watch an anime about. I'm open to whatever in film, TV, movies, anime, whatever you want to call it. I'm open to anything. Like if somebody recommends me something, I'll check it out. I'm never like, oh, this is about, I don't know, horse racing. I'm not going to watch that. That's not the case. But this one is about gambling. And I saw the trailer for it a while ago. And I was like, man, it's so over the top in some ways, but also very realistic in some ways. It's hard to put. Like, it doesn't have the usual anime tropes, and there's not like over the top humor and, like veins bulging and like all that stuff. There are some tropes in there, but it lacks all of that stuff. So it's about gambling. It's about a school where all these kids love to gamble, and all these kids are like rich, come from rich families, and they gamble a lot of money. And it's not like they just play like poker or regular card games. They play that, but they gamble on like rock, paper, scissors, and they gamble on games that they've made up themselves and memory games. They just love gambling. That's all it's about them. So I saw the trailer and I was like, I'm reading interesting things about it. The trailer looks interesting. I'll give it a shot when it comes out. I didn't realize it came out. I guess it came out like a couple weeks ago or a week ago. So I watched some of it last night while I was working. It's really interesting, but it's also very twisted in some ways. Like these people really love gambling, and a lot of them are terrible people. And their gambling addiction has driven them to be very, very horrible people, at least some of them. and they do, some of them do like crazy things. Some of them are out of their mind. It's one of those anime that makes you uncomfortable, not in the sense that like it's fan service uncomfortable, but uncomfortable where you're like, ugh, I hope there aren't people really like this. There's other characters I like, of course, but so I watched a whole bunch of episodes last night, and I'm like, I think I really like this show. I like the discomfort that it brings because I don't know, it gets me more involved in the show. It gets me more involved in the characters, and obviously my favorite characters are the ones that aren't so terrible. But there's some that you think are absolutely horrible, and they have an epiphany or things change and they start to turn around and stuff like that. Watch a trailer. I'd be very interested to hear what you guys think, because I know a lot of you watch anime as well. And I really like the art. For me, it's drawn really, really well, I think. And they go like characters are drawn. I'm sure there's a word for it in anime, but characters are drawn extremely ugly when they're getting like very intense and like ready to like screw someone over, because basically everybody in school cheats at gambling because that makes it more fun for them, or they want to win more money, so they're always cheating. So when they think they've got somebody cornered, like it does fisheye lens like zoom ins of their face and like eyes bulging and like sweat and all kinds of crazy stuff. Especially later on, there's people that are really whacked. But yeah, it's interesting. It's one of those anime where I'm like, man, I want to show this to a couple friends, but I really got to pick the friends I show to. I have a couple friends who are down with whatever anime, so I don't have to be like, hey, it gets weird. There's some terrible people in this show, and they'll just go along with it and take it for what it is. But it's it's like Fooly Cooly. You can't recommend Fooly Cooly to anybody because that's gonna blow people's minds. It blows everybody's mind. But that, if it's not the title for introduction to anime, let's say. All right, let's do some Nintendo news, shall we? That's enough talk about other stuff. Well, there's anime games coming out on Switch, like My Hero Academia, which I got into thanks to Poopaloop, and now I'm actually excited for that game because I'm like, oh, I know what this is about. I've seen this. I haven't read the manga, but I've watched the series, the 2 seasons of the series, so I'm down. So let's talk about more Nintendo-related news. Platinum's Hideki Kamiya, who is very outspoken on Twitter, as you know, we've discussed him multiple times. He took to Twitter to explain in great detail the situation of situation with Nintendo and the Bayonetta franchise. So as you know, Bayonetta, the original, came out on Xbox 360 and PS3. And then they were trying to get a sequel made, and it just didn't happen. And eventually Nintendo swooped in and took care of it. And then the original one, the original Bayonetta, came to Switch or Wii U and now Switch. So he went on Twitter, because there's a lot of people on Twitter that are like, Kamiya, put Bayonetta 3 on PS4 or Xbox One. And I guess he just like badmouths people on Twitter and like calls them names and stuff and leaves it at that. But I guess he was getting so inundated with questions about Bayonetta 3 coming to other platforms that he's like, all right, I got to go on Twitter and explain this thing. So he's got, it was like 15 tweets in a row all about this. I'm going to read you the 2 very specific portions that give us details on Nintendo's collaboration and why Nintendo's important to actually making this happen. He says, when we started making Bayonetta 2, we initially received funds from Sega to develop the game for multiple platforms, but the project was halted due to circumstances at Sega. Nintendo then stepped in to continue funding the game, allowing us to finish it. As such, the rights belong to Sega and Nintendo. The rights owners decided the game should be made for Wii U. Nintendo was also kind enough to fund a port of Bayonetta 1 for Wii U, and they even allowed us to use the Japanese voice track we created for the Wii U version in the PC version of Bayonetta 1 as well. I'm extremely thankful to Nintendo for funding the game and to Sega for allowing them to use the Bayonetta IP. As for Bayonetta 3, it was decided from the start that the game was going to be developed using Nintendo's funding. Without their help, we would not have been able to kick this project off. All the rights still belong to Sega and Nintendo. The rights owners decided that the game should be made for Switch. So he goes on to say, like, game developers have circumstances where they need money to make a game and they have to talk to a publisher. Nowadays, it's either crowdfunding or a publisher, and that's how you get your money. And Platinum is certainly a more traditional company, so they were looking to publishers. And Nintendo originally swooped in to save the day for Bayonetta 2. And as he said, they even let them use some of the content from the Wii U version of the original Bayonetta on the PC version, which they didn't have to. So he's like, Nintendo's been great. They funded us so we could get the sequel made, and they let us do some other things we want to do along the way. So we're really appreciative. And then the option of Bayonetta 3 came around, and we were like, yeah, Nintendo wants it. We're going to go with Nintendo for funding. And if you remember, no other companies were stepping in back when Bayonetta 2 was in trouble. No other publishers were jumping in and being like, yeah, we'll give you some cash. Let's get this game made. Nintendo came in and made that deal. So it's very obvious that Platinum and Nintendo are into working together because they have a great relationship together so far. And that's continuing with Bayonetta 3. So it's really cool to see. I love Platinum's games. I love them when they were at Capcom and not called Platinum. They're very unique. They're very interesting. They're very Japanese. And I mean all those as compliments. And I feel like they have a lot of development similarities between the two of them. I feel Nintendo and Platinum take a lot of take a similar approach to game development, even though the games that they're making are very different. And Platinum does a lot of over-the-top action and we'll say violence-focused titles, and that's not really Nintendo's thing. So obviously Nintendo saw a reason to jump in there and be like, hey guys, we'll give you the money, make this stuff for us, because that helps fill part of the library there, and it's paying off. So really cool to see, and hopefully people are a lot more understanding now about why Platinum has done what they've done and why these games aren't going to, hello Swedish Galaxy, and why Bayonetta 3 is not going to go to other systems unless Nintendo and Sega say so. But that's not going to happen. The other cool thing is Nintendo and Sega's relationship continues to grow. They've had a great relationship for many, many years now. And there was a time, a long time ago, where that seemed like something that would be absolutely impossible. I remember thinking of like, wow, wouldn't it be cool if Nintendo and Sega worked on games together? But that would never happen because they were bitter rivals back in the day. But nowadays, they're like best of friends. So yeah, Nintendo's great relationship with Sega also obviously helped them, because they could talk to Sega and be like, hey, we got some money. This is what we want to do. Are you cool with this? And Sega's like, yeah, let's do it. So, you know, everybody's happy, it seems like, which is really awesome. Hello, Neil. Hammer has the top-rated comment and says, we do not see it all that often, but sincerity, Kamiya, is weird. It is not often that we see him be sincere and honest and just straightforward and, you know, speaking from the business side of things. He's usually telling people to go F themselves and, you know, go whine to your mom and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know what hits him, but like I said, I think he just got, hello, Turquoise Gold Scraper. You missed 20 minutes. I think, like I said, he just got so much crap this time around. He's like, all right, I got to make this really clear. Let's just explain what's going on here. Hello, Barry Bob. Nintendo's president says he's interested in VR, but they don't know what to do. He's like, we're not opposed to it, but we got nothing interesting to do with it. This was in an interview with who the hell knows. I don't know where it's from. But Nintendo's president, Tatsumi Kimishima, says, I understand that VR is interesting as a technology, and I'm very interested in it. I will use it if I can make interesting things. We have not done anything interesting yet. So maybe they are toying around with VR and actually trying to like do things with it. But, you know, for whatever Nintendo's desires are, they haven't been able to do anything interesting. So they're like, we're open to the tech. You know, we see things there that we like, but we haven't been able to craft anything that we find interesting or worthy of putting out in front of the public or worthy of getting that hardware out to our fans. So they haven't done it. Not to say that they won't in the future. It could certainly happen. But right now they're like, we don't know. You know, and another, I've seen people saying that perhaps Nintendo is also saying, you know, price is a factor right now, so that's why they're not doing it, because, you know, VR is not cheap to get into, and I don't know what Nintendo's VR solution would be it for the Switch or another platform altogether, or maybe on the mobile side of things. You can know, you have like Samsung VR and all that stuff. So who the hell knows? So they're interested in it, but they haven't done anything official yet. Guy Bones says he hasn't thought of anything interesting, and he has a picture of Tatsumi Kimishima wearing a cardboard box on his face as VR, but it says Nintendo Labo on it. So yeah, I mean, cardboard VR is out there, so why the hell not? I don't know what you're going to play, but you could just, I guess you could just look at any Switch game you want, just with a cardboard box on your Switch. I mean, it's not any crazier than what Nintendo's doing right now. So, Ubisoft says that they're going to be doing more things with the Switch in the future. What? Of course they didn't tell us because, you know, why would they? You know, not even a hint. I guess technically that's a hint saying they're going to do more. This comes from Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot. He says, so yes, this relationship between Nintendo and us continues to grow. We are very happy with what we were able to achieve with Mario plus Rabbids. Let's also not forget the fact that Just Dance is also a big seller on the Switch, and that we will continue to follow the growth of that machine. And yes, in the future, we are going to do more things. We just can't go over that right now. Mark my words, South Park, I guess the Fractured Butthole, but I'm not official. Yeah, I'll say the Fractured Butthole. It's coming to Switch. I've seen enough retail stuff to know it's coming to Switch. When? I don't know. But I'm sure that's coming to Switch, and I know a lot of people would be interested in getting that as well, so that would be cool. And then they have, oh crap, somebody help me out, the name of that space game that they're working on, which I'm really interested in, because I like the idea of if you like the toys, you get them. If you don't like the toys, you don't get them. And I just like the idea of, you know, it's a space shooter, where you, as far as I know, you're not getting out on planets and walking around. You just have missions on planets and your ship, which you don't see too much anymore. But Nintendo fans are aware of it with stuff like Star Fox or, you know, the Star Wars franchise when we had like Rogue Leader and Rogue Squadron and stuff like that. So who the hell knows? But hopefully that does well. Well, we know that's coming to the Switch in the future as well. But there are other things that I haven't talked about. When are we going to find out about those things? That's what we don't know. But they're saying there's more there. You know, saying there's more there could also mean like Just Dance, you know, 1 million. And they'll be like, see, we told you more was coming. And fans are going to be like, well, all right. Technically, yes, that is correct. But and they say it's selling well on the Switch, the latest Just Dance game. So, of course, they're going to continue and put out more. Ubisoft's still putting out Just Dance games on the Wii. So, yeah, they're going to continue with Switch. You can bet that. I think they might stop Wii U soon. The King Up North says, Beyond Good and Evil 2 on Switch. Hello, Massimo. Thanks for joining us. You know, if you've been a fan of GoNintendo in any way, shape, or form over the years, you know I am very fond of Beyond Good and Evil. I'm playing that sequel no matter where it goes. I mean, I play any game no matter where it goes. If I can get it on a Nintendo platform, that's where I like to play it. But I'm never like, oh, this isn't coming out on Switch. No, I'm not going to play it. So I'm playing Beyond Good and Evil 2 on any platform it goes to. If I needed to, if it was only coming out on PC and I needed to fully upgrade my PC to play, then I would do that. It would be really dumb to do that, and I don't have the money to do that. I would do it. I'd be like, time to get out the emergency credit card, because that's how much I loved the original Beyond Good and Evil. I would like to see the sequel on Switch. It doesn't seem like that is going to happen. I am just, you know, it's been so many years since the original launched, and there's a false start for a sequel there, and then we went so many more years of nothing after that, and Ubisoft just kept saying, like, we know it's important to our fans. Things are being done. And, you know, every E3 for so many years, I would watch Ubisoft's press conference, and I'm like, this is the one. This is the one. They're ending the show with Beyond Good and Evil 2. This is the one. This is the one. And it never happened. And then this last year came, and I was like, oh my God, this is really happening. It's giving me goosebumps as I'm thinking about it now. I saw, you know, the teaser trailer that they did, and as soon as I saw the pig, I was like, oh my God, is this really happening? I've been waiting this long, and today is actually the day, and it was. So, you know, I don't think it's going to be canceled this time. Fingers crossed. I'm sure talking about it is wishing it bad luck as well, but because it's not like it hasn't had a troubled history. But yeah, if it comes to Switch, I'll get it on Switch. If it comes to whatever, I'll get it on whatever. Man, I love that game. That is one of my top 10 games of all time, without a doubt. I might say top 5. One of my top 5 games. Just everything about it. The heart, the music, the characters, Zelda-style gameplay, photography, having a female lead at the time where that really wasn't a thing unless the female leads were like over-sexualized and stuff like that. It was a bold move for Ubisoft, and it didn't pan out at first because there were other big franchises debuting at that time. Like it went up against the debut of or the return of Prince of Persia with Sands of Time, which was a huge deal, and also Splinter Cell, which was another big deal. So it kind of got lost in their shuffle there. You know, you have Prince of Persia, an established franchise that hasn't been around for a long time and is coming back with a brand new entry, and then you have Splinter Cell, which is, you know, in the Tom Clancy universe, which has built-in fans, plus at least for the time, it was amazing, like amazing looking as far as the lighting and all that stuff went. You were like, wow, light and shadow really matters to sneaking around and all that stuff. It was a big deal. So then you have like Beyond Good and Evil 2, where it's like, hey, it's the other games are, I will say, quote unquote, mature. You know, I don't really think Prince of Persia is mature, but it's got a guy swinging a sword. And then you have Splinter Cell, which is like, you know, covert missions and political intrigue and sneaking around and taking enemies out, and, you know, just very like, yeah, guys game, quote unquote guys game. And then you have Beyond Good and Evil, and it's like, we got pigs and we got a girl and she takes pictures, and people were just like, no, I don't think so. Play what after a podcast? Play Beyond Good and Evil after podcast? I haven't played Beyond Good and Evil. Oh man, I don't know. A very long time. I can't read. I didn't play the HD remake, so it's been a long time for me. I wanted Beyond Evil. I wanted Beyond Good and Evil so bad. I played the PC demo a million times before that game came out. Like I showed it to everybody, and then I found out the PS2 version was coming out like 2 days before the GameCube version and the Xbox version. And I switched my pre-order from GameCube to PS2. I was like, I'm getting it wherever it's going out first. So that's the one I went with. But yeah, it's been a very long time since I played it. There's a lot of Pete says I'm a fake Beyond Good and Evil fan because I didn't play the HD remake. Fair call. There are a lot of parts of that game. There's plenty of games I play where I greatly enjoy them, but I forget a lot of aspects to them. Beyond Good and Evil, I have a lot of moments in my head, a lot of memories perfectly intact in my brain of like running through portions of levels and fighting specific bosses, and obviously the music because I've listened to the soundtrack a lot. But yeah, I should play it again. You're right. Nintendo Labo, Nintendo's cardboard adventure for the Switch, keeps showing us some really interesting surprises and little aspects to the game that we didn't know about before. Like we found out about the heat camera and the night vision camera that you can use with the RC car by using the Joy-Con's IR sensor. And now Nintendo is using that yet again in the motorbike Toy-Con. So the Joy-Con that uses the IR sensor or camera, whatever you want to call it, for the motorbike game, you can actually point that at real-life objects, and on the Switch screen, like the tablet screen, or I guess on your TV, it could happen, you will see basically a picture, like a two-toned picture of what you're pointing the camera at. So it could be any object you want, a cup, a phone, your hand, other body parts, I'm sure is going to happen. And you can take this data and put it into the game to make terrain. So they show in the trailer that a guy is taking a picture of his hand with the IR camera. And then that data gets put into the game. And then your character is driving around on like a 3D version of your hand. There's like a landmass that has like a hand sticking out of it. That's kind of like a mountain. So yeah, you'll be able to do all kinds of stuff. You'll be able to do all kinds of stuff and take pictures of all kinds of different things and make really interesting tracks. We know that there's a track. We knew that there was a track editor in there already, but now you have the ability to add in all kinds of crazy stuff. Like I said, I can't imagine what people are going to put in there. I know some of it's going to be vulgar. Hey, you buy the game, do whatever you want with it. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. Entity. Oh, Well, he's responding to somebody else, but I think I can make sense of it. Entity says people were like, stupid IR camera not used and makes the Joy-Cons more expensive. And Nintendo's like, hold my beer, smiley face. Yeah, it seems like Nintendo is really using Nintendo Labo. Hello, Jackpot. Nintendo is really using Nintendo Labo to showcase all aspects of what the Joy-Cons can do. You know, the HD rumble is obviously used in a lot of these aspects. The motion controls are used. The IR camera is used in all sorts of ways for seeing, for making the piano work, the piano Toy-Con, and this motorbike thing. And like I said, the RC car stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I've always said that my favorite Nintendo is Hello DF Gaming and Lee Scott. I've always said that Weird Nintendo is my favorite Nintendo, so I'm all about this stuff. I'm all about Nintendo Labo. I get it's not everybody's cup of tea. That's totally fine. But yeah, this extra... Hello, Grizzlefoot. All this extra stuff is just making me want it even more. And then on top of that, seeing all the weird, fun, unique, interesting ways that they're using the Joy-Con just makes me want a WarioWare game for Switch that much more. WarioWare Smooth Moves on the Wii is one of my favorite Wii games. Did I say hello to Matt Fox? I think I did. So the Joy-Cons are perfect for a WarioWare game. It's been a while since we've seen a regular WarioWare game. We saw what was the Wario game on Wii U? Game and Wario. As we were joking about that name. Yeah, Game and Wario wasn't a traditional WarioWare game. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't, you know, micro games and crazy stuff. You know, I don't know what to call it, but it wasn't a traditional WarioWare game. I really want one of those. I missed that franchise. And I think it would be a real shame if the Switch didn't get one of those. I'm upset that the 3DS didn't get one, but it's not like the 3DS offers too much more over what the DS did as far as inputs and stuff like that. I'm sure they could have done AR stuff or something like that, but you know, I can see that maybe it's not the biggest deal. But with Switch, yeah, there's just so many unique opportunities in the controller for just HD Rumble alone. I think would be great for a WarioWare game. I'd be really surprised if they're not working on one. Not that it would ever see the light of day, but it just seems like, you know, with that kind of system, WarioWare makes perfect sense. So hopefully I'm right. I do want to see it. I forgot. Mon Brain messaged me. Party's getting really out of control, I guess. You know, those teachers getting crazy. North America this week's digital downloads. What did we get in North America this week? We got... I'd buy that for $1. I also miss traditional Wario platformers as well. Hello, Alfie. North America, we got Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2. So if you are a person who didn't own a Wii U, which is most people, hello, Canadian Rambo. You can get Bayonetta 2 as well as Bayonetta 1 on the Switch now. It's available today. Fee is on Switch. Remember, that's published by EA. That is the second game on EA, or the second game on Switch that has some sort of involvement from EA. And I know a lot of people are against EA right now, and I'm going to say I'm not happy with them as well. But I wouldn't punish Zoink Games for that, because Zoink is the developer. It's their baby. EA just stepped in to publish. Fire Emblem Warriors got more DLC. It got the Shadow Dragon pack, which includes 3 new characters, 3 new history maps, 4 new costumes, new armor break models, new support conversations, new weapons, and new weapon attributes. So there you go. Also new this week is Fatal Fury 3. That's the Neo Geo game. Aqua Kitty UDX, which we were joking about last week, with milk mining as one of the gameplay mechanics. Escape Trick, 35 Fateful Enigmas. Now that's like a, it's like Myst, or I guess like 99, like 999 or something. One of those games. I don't know if it's any good or not. Joe Dever's Lone Wolf. Joe Dever, that name, Dever, bothers me. I want it to be like Denver. Just Dever doesn't roll off the tongue. It's like, change your name, damn it. Johnny Turbo's Arcade. Gate of Doom is on the Switch. That's another classic arcade game, Gate of Doom, coming to the Switch as part of Johnny Turbo's arcade lineup. Layers of Fear Legacy is on February 21st. Millie is on the Switch. Old Man's Journey is coming to the Switch on February 20th. That is made by, I think I said this last week, that's made by the same people who did And Yet It Moves. Broken Rules is their name. Billiard is on Switch, but the name of it is Pool Billiard. Billiards all in capital letters. I guess we need as many words as we can possibly fit into the title to let you know that this is a pool game about playing pool with balls and cues, not pool as in swimming in a pool. So Puzzle Puppers will be on the Switch on February 20th. Quest of Dungeons got a demo on the Switch. Samurai Aces is on the Switch. Torkel Physics Modified Edition is on Switch. I've been interested in that game. I've covered it a lot. Because it was on the Wii U in Japan. I don't believe that version ever came here. But now it's on Switch and it is here. It's a weird looking puzzle game, but like I said, I like the weird stuff. So Violet got a demo on Switch. Oh boy. Wanderer. We'll just say Wanderer. Try Again or Walk Away is on the Switch, and it also has a demo version. Zeo Drifter, the 3DS title, has made the jump over to the Switch. That's from our friends at Atui. Machine Knight is on the 3DS. That's a Kemco RPG, I believe. And RTO2 is on the 3DS. Do you guys like the games this week? The King Up North says, amazing week of releases for Nintendo. I ordered the Bayonetta collection on Amazon. Should be arriving tomorrow. Never played Bayonetta beyond the demo for the first one on 360 and the demo for the second one on Wii U. Well then, he's got plenty of stuff to play. If you've never played either of those games, you got a lot of stuff to enjoy. I hope you enjoy the ride, my friend. Hello, Al's Gaming Stuff. Yeah, Alboy. Al, A-L, is talking about Owlboy, O-W-L. Yeah, I want to play that too. Hello, Roth. I just need more time. Like I said, I was watching that anime last night while I was working. So, because it's dubbed. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but you know, if I can hear a show without having to read the screen, I'll take it. Some of them are so bad that I have to stop. But I'm more open to that kind of thing. It doesn't bother me as much, and I know that's, you know, the #1 sin for anime fans. So, you know, to each their own. It is what it is. But yeah, if I'm working, it's I can't look up at the TV as often to read the subtitles. So having the dub works for me. Hello, Green Bolt. North America, or I'm sorry, Europe. This week's digital downloads. Europe got Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2. They also got Owlboy. They got Fee, Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game. I've seen a lot of talk lately about how that game doesn't have the track editor on Switch, and if you were following GoNintendo weeks ago, we told you that, so you were in the know. But just recently, because the game came out, people got it and were like, where's the track editor? Well, we tried to tell you. Why is it not in there? I don't know, because the developers didn't put it in there. The Fall Part 2, Unbound, is on the Switch. Now, The Fall Part 1 was on Wii U. The Fall Part 2 is on Switch. And a developer would like to bring the original over to the Wii U. But you can play it on PC and other platforms, the original, that is. This is a direct sequel to The Fall Part 1, which came out in 2014. And it apparently won Story of the Year. The Story of the Year award. From who? I got no idea. But the game looks pretty cool, and it's gotten some good reviews so far, so I might need to jump in and check those games out. Fatal Fury 3, the Neo Geo game, is on Switch. Aqua Kitty UDX is on Switch. Billiard, just in Europe, it's called Billiard. We don't have pool billiard there. And it says the HD rumble will make it feel like you're really hitting the cue ball. Will it? I want to try. Escape Trick 35 Fateful Enigmas is on Switch. Samurai Aces is on Switch. Torkel Physics Modified Edition is on Switch. Wanderer Try Again or Walk Away is on Switch. That includes the demo. Zeo Drifter is on Switch in Europe as well. The Longest 5 Minutes is out today in Europe. Our hero faces the origin of all evil, the Demon King himself, but suddenly loses all memories of his adventure. Our hero tries to regain his priceless memories before it's too late, but the Demon King stands before him, his power unyielding. What will happen in the longest 5 minutes? Hello, Nintendo Talk. Hello, Lightning Bro. Hello, Metroid. Good Lord, where's everybody coming from? Thanks for joining me on this random podcast. And that's published by NIS America. What's going to happen? I don't know. I haven't played the game. Joe Devers, Lone Wolf. God damn it. DLC for Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. It's the Black Panther DLC. I have not seen that movie yet. I would like to see that movie. I've heard wonderful things. It just came out, and I feel like everybody's already seen it. I'm behind the times. Pick-a-Pick Deluxe got DLC. It got small puzzles too, mixed puzzles too, and large puzzles too. Tokitori 2 Plus, the Switch edition. Yes, it's coming to Switch. We all thought Two Tribes was done. I guess they're not done yet. Oh, well, if you haven't played Rive on Switch, you gotta play that game. I did a video review for it, which you can find on this channel that you're watching right now. Or if you're listening to the podcast, sorry. Only listening to the recorded or to the audio version, you're going to have to go over to the YouTube channel. If you're watching this live, you're there right now. You go watch the review. It's a great game. Really, really cool. A lot of fun. But yes, Two Tribes is not dead yet. They are releasing Tokitori 2 Plus on the Switch. Who's this? Who's doing this? It's without fail, whenever I'm doing a solo show, all kinds of stuff happens outside of the show where people are like, I need to talk to you right now. What's going on? It always happens. But yes, you can pre-order Tokitori 2 Plus, which comes out March 9th. If you pre-order now, you can get a special deal. Mulaka comes out March 1st, but you can pre-order it now. Special deal? Doesn't look like it. Ace of Seafood you can pre-order. Super Toy Cars you can pre-order. Special offers on a whole bunch of stuff. 3DS got Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. And it got Fat Dragons and a demo. No, not a demo. The full version of Machine Knight. Yes, this is a Kemco RPG. Now I know. DLC for Fire Emblem Warriors. Sorry. And DLC for Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. Special offers. 3DS Theme Shop got updated with Pokemon Team Plasma theme. Pokemon Team Plasma theme. 2 of them. One from Black and White and one from Black and White 2. Oh, Mom Brain's not here. Hello Kitty is a candy theme. Hello Kitty is a lovely unicorn made of candy. Oh, why can't she be here for this one? Hello Kitty is a Cupido theme. Hello Kitty plays as a sweet Cupido. Is that Cupid? Why is it Cupido? Cupid trademarked. Pajama Party with Friends theme. Hello Kitty is having fun with her friends before sleeping. Guys, let's have fun and then let's sleep. Hello Kitty is Under the Rain theme. Hello Kitty is under her lovely umbrella. Well, that one sounds nice. That's my pick. That's the one I'm going for. Wii U got Fat Dragons in Europe and some other special offers, but there's your European releases. What are we at here? Oh. Shillelagh, which I still think you're okay with that name, but if you're not, let me know. Shillelagh says, I've already bought Jotun Valhalla edition, or I'm sorry, Jotun Valhalla edition from the discounts on Wii U. Tokitori 2 Plus should be a mandatory purchase for anyone who's never played it before. It's an amazing game. I bought it on Wii U for around $2, I think, when it was on sale. Pound for pound, it's probably one of the best purchases I've ever made in terms of value. Easily one of my favorite games. Its cute presentation is deceptive as it's an ingenious game with its puzzles. Owl Boy looks beautiful too, and the music from its launch trailer is absolutely stunning. Well, Shillelagh, let me tell you, just from those titles that you mentioned there in that post, you've got some excellent taste because your taste matches up with mine. I like all those projects as well, although I haven't played Owlboy yet, but I agree with your music statement. Here's a cool story. Well, you know, it's a cool ending. It's a scary story that turns into a cool story. There's this guy. He's got a Switch. He's a 28-year-old programmer. His name's Chris. He has been playing the Switch He's been playing a lot of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And when he's playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, he notices that when the system rumbles, because he's playing handheld mode, or he's playing split Joy-Con, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. He's playing with HD Rumble. He's using the Joy-Con specifically. When he's playing, he gets some pain in his hand from the HD Rumble on a specific part of his right hand. Like in the palm, he says, going up to his index finger. He's like, man, what the hell is this? It hurts pretty bad. And he plays PC games, and he has a PC game controller that rumbles, and that never hurts him. So he's like, something's going on here. He goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, let me check you out. And the doctor goes, you're cool. Keep an eye on it. It doesn't look like anything. So Chris continues on, and he's like, well, I am a programmer, doing a lot with the mouse and typing. He's like, probably a repetitive strain injury or something like that, which is common in that line of work. So he doesn't think anything of it, and he just goes on. But every time he plays Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and he's picking up the coins in the game, because they have a very distinct rumble, that really causes him a ton of pain. And it gets to the point where he can't play anymore. He's like, this is so painful that I just can't play the system anymore. It's too much. And he's like, I got to go back to the doctor. Something's not right here. And as he was thinking that, he knows that there was a bruise on the palm of his hand. He's like, okay, it's time to go back and really get this checked out. There's something going on. So he goes back to the doctor, and doctor's like, oh, something's up here. Let me take another look at this. And the doctor's like, oh, I found a problem. You have a tumor in your hand. Now, the good news is the doctor says the tumor has a 5% chance of being cancerous. So pretty good odds for Chris in this one. And he's getting it removed this coming Monday. And they'll give him the definitive answer. But yes, he's getting it taken care of. And he says he credits the Switch and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for helping him discover this in his hand rather than letting it become a bigger issue and not, staying on top of it from the beginning. Because of the pain in his hand, he went to the doctor and kept an eye on it. When things got worse, he went back to the doctor rather than just being like, this is from work, whatever, and then stop playing the game because it hurts him. And he's like, I'll wait until I heal up. He was motivated to go to the doctor from the pain he was feeling, and he says, I credit the Switch with that. So, yeah, a scary story because the guy's got a tumor in his hand, and that's not something you ever want to have happen, obviously, but at least through his Switch playtime, he was made aware of it and kept an eye on it and is getting it taken care of. Shillelagh says, I wonder, could you use the rumble and the Joy-Cons to detect tumors in other parts of the body? Obviously, they probably need to be close to the surface of the skin. Well, I think this is a case for Trauma Center. Atlas, it's time. We need a new Trauma Center game. Use like the IR camera to see all kinds of weird stuff. I will follow up with this story once Chris goes to the doctor and gets things taken care of. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging, so I'll let you know what his prognosis is and how the removal goes and all that stuff, because that's important. We want to follow up with the guy, make sure everything's good. And then finally this week, we're back to Hideki Kamiya over at Platinum, and we know Platinum is making Bayonetta 3 for the Switch, and they're hard at work at that. Hard at work on that, and we don't have any idea when it's coming out. Like I said, hopefully end of this year, probably early next year is more likely. Whatever, it's coming out when it's coming out. So you think Mr. Kamiya would be very busy, all hands on deck for Bayonetta 3, very focused on that project, but no. He's thinking of another game right now. He's thinking of Bayonetta 4. So Bayonetta 3, hello, NWM. Bayonetta 3 just got announced a few weeks back with a teaser trailer, and that was our first... that was the reveal of the game. We had no idea it was in the works, and now we know. And just a few weeks after, Kamiya hops on Twitter, and he's like, you know what? I got some concepts for Bayonetta 4 floating around in my head. So... is there going to be a Bayonetta 4? We don't know. Not officially confirmed by any means, because we only just got the confirmation on Bayonetta 3, and obviously that game needs to come out, and we need to see how well it's received, and, maybe things won't pan out, and another sequel won't happen. But as far as story goes, it seems like Kamiya has some ideas of what he'd like to do with Bayonetta after whatever path she takes through the third game. So there's plans for the series to continue on. Would Bayonetta 4 be on the Switch? or another Nintendo system, or I don't know. I don't know. Let's get to Bayonetta 3 first and hopefully enjoy that. Maybe 3 won't be any good and we'll be like, we don't want Bayonetta 4. They ruined it with 3. Maybe 3 will end on a cliffhanger. We'll be like, we need that 4. I don't know. JD has the top rated comment. And he says, JD says, sigh, a new Okami would be awesome. Well, Okami is Capcom's. So, if there's going to be a new Okami, it's going to be from Capcom. Capcom could certainly hire Platinum to work on it, formerly Clover. But Capcom can have another company do it, or Capcom could do it themselves. I don't know. It does seem a shame that Capcom has those brands that they aren't really doing anything with as far as new content. They're just doing HD re-releases, or like making those characters appear in fighting games, or like having cameos in other games. Like Beautiful Joe, another instance. I would love another Beautiful Joe, but that's Capcom. What are they going to do with it? I don't know. He pops up in other games, but he doesn't get a new game in and of itself. So it's sad to me. Yes, Clover, now defunct, but Platinum, it is now Platinum Games, basically. I'm sure they have some interest in doing like another Okami or another Beautiful Joe, and or another what was it? Project number 3? Which one was it? I never played that. All I remember from it is like the videos very clearly showing off the girl's butt and how it swayed. I'm looking it up. Product number 3, yes. Technically 03, but product number 3. Yeah, I never played it. Heard it wasn't so hot, though. So yeah, if you want a new Okami and you want a new Beautiful Joe and you want a new product number 3, that's going to be all in Capcom's hands. So that's, I don't know what else to tell you. Does it make me happy? No, because I don't like the treatment that they're putting. I don't like the treatment they've given those franchises so far. But, all it takes is the right person at the company. They always, or not always, but in recent years, Capcom's been like, we have a lot of legacy brands that we need to rejuvenate, and we think we could bring those back and really make some money off of them. And then we don't see anything. We see like just remakes, HD remakes or re-releases. Like, look at all the Mega Man stuff that's coming to Switch. There's Mega Man 11 finally, after how many years of there not being a new mainline Mega Man game, but ports at the butt. All the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then X 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There wasn't 9, was there? No, I don't know. Maybe there was. I don't think so. But all those are coming out on Switch. Yeah, it's not like they're cranking out. I don't think they should crank out new games all the time, but certainly they have plenty of franchises that have been dead for a while that they used to put out games more frequently for. Like, I want a new Ghouls and Ghosts, or Ghosts and Goblins, or Maximo, or anything in that franchise. We haven't seen that in a long time. Goof Troop 2. We want Goof Troop 2. I'm bringing up the questions email. If you want to send the Go Nintendo podcast team some questions, you can do so by sending them to gonintendoquestions@gmail.com. That's gonintendoquestions@gmail.com. But before we get to questions, I'm going to talk about what I've played, because that's how this show works. And I really haven't played anything but Celeste. It's been all Celeste. I have been playing nothing but Celeste because I'm getting all the strawberries and all the special hearts and dying many, many, many times. Yeah, I love Celeste. Hello, Mitchell. Yeah, I'm trying to get every single strawberry. I think I have 4 left. 4 sad strawberries left. And I have to find where they are. And some of them are really well hidden. Most of them I can I believe the word is sus. Most of them I can suss out because in the game you can once you beat a level you can go through by, I guess you'll call them chapters. And the bottom of the picture for each chapter shows you the strawberries you've collected, and you can see where the empty spots are. Plus, when you go into that level or that portion of the level, it shows you like a timeline of the strawberries you've collected and ones you've missed. So, you know, if you go into a level and you've missed the first strawberry, but you've gotten all the rest, if you're trying to hunt down a strawberry and the first one you come upon is one you've already collected, then you know you've gone too far. You know the strawberry you missed is somewhere in those 4 screens that you went through before you got to the missing one. So I can usually take that information and figure out where the ones I'm missing are. But there are some of them, that applies to all of them, obviously, but there are some that are so well hidden. They can be really difficult to find, but I like that challenge. I don't want to look it up on the internet. I want to figure it out on my own. And so far I have, but some have taken a long time. There's one in a level where it's a level later in the game. You can see at the top of the screen, I should do it there. You can see at the top of the screen, there's like the ceiling of a cave and then like a hole and then a ceiling. But the ceiling was so high to jump up there, you couldn't get up there with your normal dash or even a double dash. So you had to figure out how to use the wall to basically just barely get enough grip to swing yourself out and catch onto the ledge and climb up. And I eventually did it because I was like, I know something's up there. So I put a lot of time into getting up there and I made it. And then I thought that was going to be where the 2 strawberries I needed were. And there was only one up there. And it turns out once you get up to that quote unquote secret area, there's another secret area off of that spot. So they hide some of them really well. But I've been going through each level sequentially to get all the strawberries. So I'm at the end now. I won't say, you know, specific names of anything, but I'm at the end and I have the final 4 strawberries, I think, scattered around in that chapter or in a couple chapters. And I've beaten all the B-sides levels except for the last one. I haven't gone into it yet, which I'm going to do next. I want to get all strawberries taken care of. And then I know there's C-side levels, which I imagine are going to make me rip what little hair I have out. Because B-sides, they are challenging, but I've been okay with them. But there are a couple screens in some of the B-side levels that are like, that gave me a lot of trouble. But I stick with them and I beat them, and it feels great when you do. It's just, you get that feel like you'll pour, or I've poured like 40 minutes into one portion of a level, one screen to try and beat. And when you finally do, you're like, oh my God, I feel like the king of the world. But then, you know, you exit to the next screen and then it's another huge challenge you have to take on. And it's a lot of muscle memory and figuring out the right path to go through. And, you know, you get very little time to celebrate because it's always on to the next. The only time you actually get to celebrate is when you finally finish the level. But boy, oh boy, yeah, it's been getting difficult. So I can't imagine how bad the C levels are going to be, but or the C sides are going to be. I'm going to do it though. So yeah, that's where all my time has been. But my plans for this weekend are to play Fee, are to play Owlboy, something else I'm forgetting. I still want to do Life is Strange Before the Storm. I haven't done that yet. Playing Doki Doki Literature Club has gotten me into the story-based games, or, you know, Life is Strange isn't a visual novel. There, you definitely have more input and you're walking around and stuff like that. But, you know, story is very important to both games. And Celeste also. Celeste is a great story. A much deeper story than you would expect just at first glance. So I've been, you know, on a story game kick, and I want to get into Life is Strange Before the Storm. I just, you know, I don't have a lot of time. I don't have time to play everything. I wish I did. I mean, I'll play them eventually, but I don't know when that eventually is going to be. All right, we got a question here. It is from Bygones. He says, Dear podcast crew, question part 1. I don't think I remember anybody on the podcast going on record with the most divisive Nintendo question of all time. Which 2D Mario game, and he types it Mario, M-A-R-E-I-O, because that's how I used to say it, but I'm beyond that now. Which 2D Mario game is the best? Super Mario Brothers 3, or Super Mario World? I personally think that Super Mario Bros. 3 is better, but it's just so good. More levels, more diverse themes, more power-ups, etc. I even like the graphics art style better than its sequel. Disclaimer, I didn't play Super Mario World much until the Game Boy Advance re-release and grew up on an NES and Genesis. So I could be slightly biased. Well, all you got to talk to here is me. Mom Brain would tell you Super Mario World. I know for a fact she would say that. Watch me ask her next week and she'll say the opposite. And me... They're both so good. See, both of them are very magical to me. Their memories are very magical because Super Mario Brothers 3 was like mind-blowing because like you saw first footage of it in a movie, The Wizard, and then they were like playing it on stage. It was basically esports before esports were really a thing. They had people up on stage playing it, and that's how they revealed the game. You saw first footage of Super Mario Brothers 3 in The Wizard, and it was just like, oh my god, it's so amazing, I can't wait to play this game. It was like just mind-blowing. You've never seen a game revealed that way. Like, you know, you saw it in magazines or it just came out. There wasn't internet for everybody to hop on and be like, hey, here's all the new stuff coming out, and interviews like we have all the time now. It's just kind of like, surprise, here's a game. You saw a commercial on TV and you're like, oh. So that was very magical to that whole experience leading up to the game's release, and the excitement of the game, and then the game itself is fantastic. And then the same thing goes for Super Mario World. I have very magical memories tied to that because it was Nintendo's like first evolution of a system, really, from NES to Super Nintendo. And Super Mario World, I have like Christmas memories tied to, like launch day, and just the visuals. I was like, oh my god, it looks amazing. It's so much better. And the sound, like I remember being in the first cave level, and I'm like, there's an echo. This is amazing. And like finding all the secret stuff in that game. Man, that's tough. Which one is better? Obviously, it's subjective. I'm gonna give it to Super Mario World because of Yoshi. I like Yoshi. Yeah, I'm going with that. Yoshi. Yoshi is my kicker for Super Mario World over Super Mario Bros. 3. Both games are fantastic, obviously. I'll make sure I bring up these questions next week with the other podcast members. Question part 2. Thinking about these games made me realize that these games, along with Super Mario 64, are all on another level compared to the rest of Mario's games. Sure, the rest are all fantastic, but these are usually at the top of people's lists. And what is the key difference that these games share? A flying mechanic. I'd argue that a flying power-up really makes a Mario game special like nothing else can. Agree or disagree? Why doesn't Nintendo revisit the idea? Disclaimer part 2. This was written before Odyssey released, so that may or may not have an awesome flying mechanic and may or may not be the best Mario game ever because of it or despite not having it. Thanks for answering my questions and being the best podcast around. Thank you for being the best guy bonds that I know. I think those games, including Super Mario 64, are on another level because of the evolutionary steps from the previous game. So, like, Super Mario Bros. 3 compared to 1 and 2, like, 1 looks absolutely rudimentary compared to Super Mario Bros. 3. I mean, just from a visual standpoint, it looks so completely different. It's so much higher quality, so much more detailed and sophisticated. And that goes the same for the gameplay, like, so much more varied and so many more varied environments. Like, it was just so different. It felt like, you know, the next step of the Mario franchise. It was like the entry that was like, okay, Mario is a really big deal now. Like, and that showed it off. And then the same goes for Super Mario World because it was the next step, the next platform, new visuals, new mechanics. Like, it was just it was encapsulated by the feeling of new. It was the next jump for Nintendo. And then obviously that's the case for Super Mario 64. The jump from 2D to 3D, and they nailed it. Like, it was a whole new way of seeing, playing, experiencing Mario. And it's just it was a big deal for the industry as well. You know, Nintendo perfected the platformer and really showed what the genre could do, and they still do that to this day. And Super Mario 64 showed what 3D platformers could be like. And the reason why perhaps following Mario games uh, aren't really considered, you know, I don't want to say the best, but maybe as big a leap as those, is because we like the evolution of systems hasn't really taken the same path. Like the jump from NES to Super Nintendo to N64, very clear. Anybody could see the differences between those. But the jump from like Wii to Wii U to Switch, as far as visuals go, or horsepower, to the untrained eye, you could, I'm sure, tell the difference between like I don't know, it's just not as much. Like there's going to the next system always meant like better visuals. It's just always going to happen, and that still happens today, but it's law of diminishing returns. Like the jump from PS1 to PS2 was huge. The jump from PS2 to PS3 was sizable. The jump from PS3 to PS4 is decent. It's not like mind-blowing, and that's only going to lessen as time goes on. So I just think like being able to show games used to be able to bank on like the power of the hardware to really show what that new hardware could do for video games. And now the hardware, as far as graphics go, doesn't make that much of a difference anymore. You might be able to put more enemies on screen or something like that. But yeah, it's not, you just can't match those days because those days were very different. And Nintendo realized that a while ago with the GameCube to the Wii. They said, it might be time to step away from the horsepower race because things are only going to look so real and things are only going to look so good. And plus Nintendo's not too interested in realistic graphics, or being the best with graphics. That was, that was the industry's mentality at the time. Your next system had to be much better graphically. And then Nintendo broke free of that and tried different things, and it's been very successful for them for the most part. So yeah, I don't know that we'll ever see that step again. I mean, I guess you could say like from today's systems to VR, if Nintendo were to do something. I don't know what Mario would be like in VR, but yeah, I guess it could be at least something closer to what those steps used to be. But that's just me speculating. I don't know. It's a little bit different there. Yeah, it might not be like how you see the game, as in how it's displayed on the screen, but how you experience the game. Like VR lets you feel like you're in it. So yeah, I mean, PS5 and Xbox 2, I don't know, whatever they're going to call it in Nintendo's next system. Nintendo's pretty much done with the horsepower race, but those other guys, yeah, like PS4 to PS5, if there is a PS5, I'd imagine the visual, there's no way the visuals are going to be so much better that we're like, oh my God, anybody can see the difference. It's like the same thing from like standard def TV to high def, or to high def, like 720p to 1080p. Anybody could see the difference from standard def to 720. People can, I guess, tell the difference between 720 and 1080. Not really. And then from 1080 to 4K, again, it's not like a major difference. I know a lot of people talk about it like it is, but to the general public, they're not going to be able to say this is 4K, this is 1080p. So yeah, it's very interesting. And I just want to say, for me, the pinnacle of the Mario series was it's either Odyssey or not Odyssey. It's either Galaxy or Galaxy 2. Like Mario games mean fun to me, and Galaxy 2, they are so much fun. It's like levels don't need to have themes. We're just going to make them fun. That's what it's all about, fun. And I love Super Mario Odyssey. I think it's a fantastic game, but I would put Galaxy 1 or 2 above them. And again, that's just me personally. Because like I do appreciate that Odyssey has themed, open, explorable levels. But I feel like this, for me, I feel like they make too much sense. Like they adhere too strictly to a theme. Like I like Super Mario 64. or Galaxy 1 and 2, like I said. Yeah, those levels, there are levels in those games that have themes, but they have a lot of elements that are put there just for like fun, like just, blocky shapes, and it's very hard to describe. Like Galaxy is just like, let's throw a whole bunch of stuff out in space and make it fun to jump and run around and play on. And for me, that's what Mario games are about. And again, I do love Odyssey, and I think Odyssey has some of the best level design that I've ever seen, and it has some of the best moments I've ever seen in a Mario game. But overall, for me, Galaxy 1 or 2 does Mario more to my liking. But yeah, like I guess we're far enough past the launch now. I could say like the feudal era level in Odyssey is one of the most amazing Mario experiences I've had, because that's very like, it's like bite-sized portions of really fun stuff to play, where the theme is put to really good use, and then you zip between portions of those levels. It's like little like playgrounds that you go between, and I really like that. And there's that bird that I don't remember the name of it, the bird that you stick its beak into the wall to climb up. I love that whole mechanic. I'm on a whole game of that. It's kind of like Donkey Kong, what is it? The peg one. What is that called? King of Swing? I don't know what it's called. I gotta look at you guys. I gotta close this email too. Whatever that is called. I just and the music in that level, the two pieces of music that are in that level, the piece that is completely original and the piece that takes a little bit from Bowser's theme and then turns it into a new original song. Man, oh, I love that level. That's definitely one of the pinnacles for a Mario game in my mind. I guess I just love the more experimental, weird things that are there just to have fun, not things that have to be put in thematically to make sense. Because when it comes to, I'm talking about gameplay, obviously. Because when it comes to Mario games, I just think of gameplay. It's fun gameplay. So that does it for me. Like the little challenges that you get in Odyssey, the little rooms that are challenges, like that started, I guess, in Sunshine. Just like, here's platforming challenges, and they're weird spaces and just blocks that are fun. Hello, Jordan. Stuff to jump around on. I love it. I love that stuff. So that's why I like Galaxy and Galaxy 2 so much. Thank you, Rocket, King of Swing. Or Jungle Climber. Yeah, I thought Jungle Climber was one too, and I was afraid to say it for some reason. But yeah, man, that was a good question from you, Guy Bonds, because you got me talking a lot on that stuff. I could, when it's a solo show, I could go on forever. But now I'm done. That's today's show. Thanks to everybody that joined me. I really appreciate it. There were way more people in here hanging out than I expected for such a last-minute show. So to those of you that joined me on Friday at this randomly announced podcast, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you had a good time. I had a great time. I always love doing solo shows. I think they're fun to sneak in there every once in a while when I can. I prefer the whole gang all together because we play off of each other and laugh and come up with stupid stuff. But these solo shows let me talk a bit more seriously about games with you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you had fun. And now I have to stop this podcast because I have to go back to regular site work. So if you want to follow along with me with all the other stuff I'm doing today, you can just go over to GoNintendo.com. I'm going to continue there doing another round of work. And then maybe the real goal for today is to take a shower. And that's like, the unattainable goal right now. I mean, you can tell I'm a mess. I mean, not that I'm ever like, yeah, I'm put together today, but my main goal today was like, I want to get work done in the amount of time where I can take a shower. Life goals, man. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Play some games, have some fun. Pete, we don't have Court Wednesdays, but we have Nintendo Wednesdays. We just don't say it's done anymore at his request. Why? That's for me to know and for you to, I don't know, ask him on Twitter. But yeah, he still does Wednesdays 6 to 10. And that's usually when I nap because I'm an adult now. And when you have an old adult body, you're like, boy, I can't wait for some free time so I can take a nap. That's great. God, I'm old and lame. Play some games, have some fun, hang out with friends and family. And I'll see you next week, probably with more people. Thank you again for joining me. Enjoy your free time. No after show today. I'll catch you later. Goodbye, everybody. And goodbye. Let me do this right. And goodbye, you guys. Have a great weekend. Take it easy. I'll catch you later.